Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi all, my name is Karisma Kusumawardani. My student number is J3102000073. I'm from class 1B Nutrition Science Study Program Faculty of Health Science Muhammadiyah Surakarta University. Here, I will discuss the main topic concern that is currently being discussed, namely the COVID-19 vaccine. Indonesian people are excited about the start of the national vaccination, which has been officially implemented by the government. Indonesia is in an uproar because we can all know that the COVID-19 vaccine is being produced very quickly. So it is doubtful its safety and effectiveness. For that, so that we know more about the COVID-19 vaccine, we will consider the following discussion.
Vaccine COVID-19 for the coronavirus vaccination of Indonesian society. What is vaccine COVID-19? Vaccine is an antigen or foreign object that is inserted into the body to produce an immune reaction against certain diseases. Vaccine usually contain microorganisms such as virus or bacteria that are dead or alive but weakened. Vaccines can also contain parts of microorganisms that can stimulate the immune system to recognize these microorganisms. When given to someone, the vaccine will cause a specific and active immune system reaction against certain diseases. The COVID-19 vaccine aims to prevent infection with the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Usually, the vaccine is inserted into the human body by injection. COVID-19 vaccine development for research cooperation in several countries in the world. So, there are various types of COVID-19 vaccines being developed. There are vaccines that use the coronavirus that has been killed or weakened. There are also vaccines that use genetic engineering technology. One example of this type of vaccine is the DNA or mRNA vaccine. Especially for mRNA or messenger RNA-based vaccines, this vaccine is made by utilizing genetic material that carries instructions for cells to produce proteins through a transition stage. Several countries are working together and competing with each other to research and produce the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as possible, so that it can be used as soon as possible to tackle the spread of the COVID-19 outbreak. Stage of vaccine development. Like other drugs and vaccines, the development of a COVID-19 vaccine must go through 3 stages of clinical trials. After fulfilling the 3 stages of clinical trials and being declared effective and safe to use, the new COVID-19 vaccine can obtain a distribution permit from the Food and Drug Supervisory Agency, or BPOM. The first is research phase. It's the phase where researchers will find out how viruses work and how they attack the human body. In this phase, animals such as monkeys and mice are used to study virus at the molecular level. Next, preclinical phase is the phase where a number of vaccines will be used in animals to test their effectiveness. This phase is important to ensure that the vaccine created are not only effective but also safe. Since August 2020, WHO record around 165 COVID-19 vaccines that are currently undergoing a preclinical phase test. Last is clinical trial phase. In this phase, it is further divided into three parts. That is, phase 1 trial. See the reaction of the immune system and ensure the safety of vaccines for the human body. The next is phase 2 trial, involving hundreds of trial subjects and focusing on the correct dosage and appropriate immunization schedule. The last is phase 3 trial, involved more than 1,000 trial subjects and focused on vaccine safety in large populations to identify rare and severe side effects. After the vaccine was created, the vaccine was given approval by BPOM and then distributed on a large scale. How the COVID-19 vaccine works? Step vaccine work on human body. First, made from a disabled virus. Step, researchers decided to take a sample from China to become the basis for making the vaccine. The virus samples taken are then deactivated with a chemical called beta-propiolactone. The inactive virus was mixed with a little adjuvant. Adjuvants are aluminum-based compounds that are said to stimulate the immune system to increase its response to vaccines. The virus that has been deactivated does not cause a person to contract the disease. That is the identity of the virus. So even though it comes from the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the vaccine does not expose the person who was injected to COVID-19. Inactive viruses are injected into the body, will trigger and create immunity or antibodies. Second step is promote immune response. Because the coronavirus in CoronaVac has been deactivated, they can be injected into the arm without causing COVID-19. Once inside the body, some inactive viruses are engulfed by a type of immune cell called an antigen-carrying cell. The cell presenting the antigen tears the coronavirus and displays some of its fragments on its surface. So-called helper T cells can detect these fragments. If the fragments match one of its surface proteins, T cells become active and can help recruit other immune cells to respond to the vaccine. Next step is make antibodies. Another type of immune cell, called B cells, can also deal with the inactive coronavirus. B cells have surface proteins in a variety of forms, and some may have the right shape to attack to the coronavirus. When the B cell is locked, it can pull part or all of the virus inside and display fragments of the coronavirus on its surface. Helper T cells that are active against the coronavirus can attack to the some fragment. When that happens, B cells are also active. It reproduces and secretes antibodies that have the same shape as their surface proteins. Next is stop the virus. After being vaccinated, With coronavac, the immune system can respond to a live coronavirus infection. These cells produce antibodies that attack to the invaders. Antibodies that target the spike protein can prevent the coronavirus from entering cells. Other types of antibodies can block the virus in other ways. Last is remembering virus. Although coronavac can offer protection against COVID-19, no one has yet been able to say how long this protection will last. It's possible that the antibody level has fallen over the months, but the immune system also contains special cells called memory B cells that might store information about the coronavirus for years or even decided. This is COVID-19 vaccine profile data in Indonesia. Facts about the COVID-19 vaccines. First, the COVID-19 vaccine is safe and lawful to use. Second, the COVID-19 vaccine that will be circulated is not for clinical trials. Third, the COVID-19 vaccine does not contain virus cells. 4. The COVID-19 vaccine cannot change DNA. 5. The COVID-19 vaccine has no impact on the immune system. The last, the ability of the COVID-19 vaccine to trigger a high immune system. Opinion regarding COVID-19 vaccine. My opinion, one of the efforts to reduce the increasing number of COVID-19 cases is the provision of a COVID-19 vaccine from the government. I hope the existence of this vaccine can protect the Indonesian people from the pandemic. Until now, giving the COVID-19 vaccine is the solution that I think is the most effective way to reduce the number of cases of the SARS-CoV-2 virus infection that cause COVID-19. My opinion is that this vaccine is quite convincing because it has gone through the testing stage with satisfactory results and has been certified halal by MUI and is also safe by the BPOM. So this vaccine does not need to be avoided. However, it should also be remembered that efforts to prevent COVID-19 must of course still be accompanied by health protocols. For example, by always maintaining physical distance, staying away from crowds or crowded place, wearing masks, and diligently washing hands.
Okay, that was some general information about the COVID-19 vaccine that is being programmed by the Indonesian government. Hopefully, with this discussion, we will know more and be sure of the COVID-19 vaccine so that we are no longer curious about the news that is coming confusing among the community. That's all from me. I hope this video is useful for all of us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.